Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at how the Strength LR Bulma does against, well, the red zone, but specifically against Sin Shenron. So Strength Bulma is one of those units that's going to be incredibly useful in a ton of situations. The reason why Bulma is going to be so useful is because she has quite a few significant components to her kit. So Bulma, for example, she has the guard mechanism, which is pretty crucial towards her being a good unit, and she holds that mechanism for the first 7 turns. Now the first 7 turns is more than enough time as a unit for her to build up her damage reduction. So she gains 7% damage reduction every single turn. So after the 7 turns that she has her guard for, she will be sitting at roughly 21 to 28% damage reduction, because she only gains the damage reduction on the turn she's out on the field. But this damage reduction is more than enough, combined with her sizable raw defense, to really just be good for pretty much all situations. She really does have like an incredibly strong presence on your team and just in general with her overall performance. She will be solid in most red zone. I think the only one that could give her some true difficulty is against Broly. I think red zone Broly is something that could be a tad challenging for her, because she won't have guard at the point of, of when she is facing AGL Broly, and her damage reduction will probably be sitting in the 30s or 40% brackets, which is a good percentage to have, but is not an insane percentage to have. It's not like a tremendous amount of damage reduction. But if you've got a couple dupes in her, then from that point onwards, I think you're probably sitting in a very solid, very strong situation with her as a unit. So I would highly suggest people that she'll be good in a lot of these situations, and she'll run perfectly fine as a unit. So, beyond obviously the defensive side, what else does Bulma add to the team? Well, Bulma has, of course, the ability to crit on her 18 key. The ability to crit is incredibly important towards a unit's damage, and so Bulma being able to crit and just being able to, do significant damage like you see here is very important towards her overall performance. Again, it's something that's quite crucial towards evaluating how well she does, and her ability to consistently do damage across the various typings of all of the bosses is something that's incredibly important overall. And I think when you look at Bulma as a unit, you can see straight away that she's really got quite a strong foundation offensively as well. Because the thing is, when her crit procs on her 18 key, it actually applies to her 12 key as well, which is pretty interesting and really is quite solid when you look at giving her an offensive presence. And then finally, of course, if we look at the intangibles, she has the 2-turn support ability, which I think is distinctly incredibly good. Her ability to provide support to the current rotation and the second rotation is something that's very crucial, especially nowadays with the amount of units that will be desiring key. It enables you to really kind of flood both turns with key, which I think is crucial towards making some very strong rotations and some very, solid, determined rotations. And then, of course, beyond that, you have an active skill, which acts in a way as a pseudo-nuking ability, but it also acts in a way as a heal as well. Because she creates so many red orbs and her defense can be so high at that point, you should pretty much have a full heal if not a quite high level of healing. So it's definitely, I would say, it's definitely a very, very good setup for Bulma. It's an incredibly strong setup. She's an incredibly good, very, very, very solid unit. And I think overall she's got the kit to make an impact in every single red zone with relative ease. I don't think there's anything she can't really do in terms of red zone. I think she can pretty much handle almost every little bit of red zone based content, and she will be a really solid performer. In terms of categories, she's a little bit limited in terms of categories. She's on the Earthbred Fighters, fortunately, which is an incredibly strong team. She leads Dragon Ball Saga and DB Seekers, which are both also solid teams. But if you don't have her as a unit, she's only 150% leader skill, so it does diminish the rest of your team, which is the only real downside. Other than that, she does a very impressive job. And I personally think she's a fantastic unit. I enjoy running her. I think she's great. I really do think she's like a super awesome unit. Her and this kid Goku together make a really, really awesome pairing. And they just do so much. Just are very, very, very viable as a pairing. Flooding each other with support, flooding the third option with support. Giving each other super solid, levels of performance. I just think overall they're a very, very strong pairing, and they definitely do have a good, consistent level of performance, which I think is something warranted and something very impressive. And then you obviously get a really good supporting cast around them on DB Saga. I would say overall, probably, at least for me, very, very, very good when it comes to just these units and their performance. Overall, I would say Bulma is probably a top level performer when it comes to red zone. I would say she's probably in the top 5 units when it comes to red zone. I think she's probably in the top 5 units in the game, all things considered. And she's on some of the strongest category teams right now, which, I think is important to understand. Beyond that, though, everything's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's anything too wild, that we need to consider when we look at all the teams and all the performances. I think at the end of the day, Bulma is just Bulma. She's just incredibly solid, incredibly strong unit that you can just build a solid foundation off of. If you have her, if you don't have her, then it's still fine, but it's just not as great to use her as a friend lead. But we got plenty of great moments. Active skills, super useful. Bulma does a really, really good job. She got practically one turn Omega Shenron here alongside Goku. So it's a very, very strong performance. Very, very good team. And for me, I don't really think there's anything more to say. I think the team just runs as good as you want them to. And I think overall there's just plenty to like about this team and plenty to like about their performance. But obviously, I appreciate your guys' input, so I'd love to hear how you work with Bulma. This is a 55% Bulma, so also really, really good. We'll just obviously get a good look. I think this is 55%. I can't remember now. It will be in the video title. But Bulma is incredibly solid and a very, very good unit. So super excited that they brought out someone so solid for Bulma. I think it's very good. Look, you can see. So she's procced the crit, and now she's just gonna do big damage, which is great. So great. And then follow up with Goku, who's super buffed up now. which is great. He's got from her active skill, he's got from her passive support, and he's going to do big damage. He's going to follow up with multiple supers. And yeah, just pretty much one-shotting good old Omega Shenron here, which is, at least for me, I would say, and I would wager, pretty impressive to one-shot Omega Shenron. Between the two of them, very good. Obviously, Goku's got type advantage, but it is what it is. I think it's still very impressive. And yeah, Bulma facilitates this. Her supporting capabilities, her active skill, her own damage, her own presence, all facilitates this happening pretty easily. So yeah, can you use Bulma and the DB Saga team to clear out Omega Shenron? Hell yeah you can. And yeah, but beyond that, that's pretty much going to be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.